Okay, so Photoshop changed up the way that you resize images a little bit. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's say we have a new document, right? File, new. Let's say the document's 8.5 by 11, and I want to put this image into this document, and I got to resize it. Fine. So I'm going to make this image a little smaller. It's gigantic. It's 72 inches. That's fine. I'm going to go to Edit, Cut. Let's say I got this off the internet and I just pasted it into Photoshop. All right, Reese, I'm ready to go. So now you're going to hit Control T, or you go to Edit, Free Transform, right? Let me get out of this for a sec. Control T is here. It's also Edit, Free Transform, which is Control T, hotkey, right? Now watch. Not holding Shift, this is what happens. Grabbing a corner and dragging it down, that's what happens. By holding Shift, you can actually make it any size you want. So here's the difference. Not holding Shift, holding Shift. See the difference? So if I hold Shift, it will make the image, it'll constrain the proportions and keep it exact same size. See? That's by not holding Shift, grabbing any anchor point, and going smaller. Holding Shift will make it, it keeps the length and width fixed, depending on which. Okay? Here's when it's necessary. Let's say I wanted to put this image, just this. I wanted to crop just this hand type thing, maybe right here. And I want to make this hand part of my image. So I'm going to go to Edit, Cut. Here's when it's necessary. Let's say I want to edit, paste. Let's say I want to make this an Andy Warhol image. I'm going to hit Control R, and since it's 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 11, I know to hit Control T, and I want this to be 4 1/4. So holding Shift, I will go to 4 1/4, right about there. A little further, might not, right? Right about there. And I know that 11 is holding Shift. If you don't hold Shift when you go to get bigger, look what happens. So here's when you have to hold Shift, and you go to 5 1/2, which is right there roughly. There it is. Now, I want to make an Andy Warhol, which is always usually 4 images, right? So, I duplicated the image. I'm going to move this image over here now. And there we have it. And yeah, we could leave it that way, but watch this. Control T. By holding Shift, I'm able to grab this and flip it the other way. And I can move this over here. See? And then we can repeat that process and continue doing this, right? So I can repeat this and duplicate, duplicate this, drag this down. Now I'll test you. If I hold Control T and I wanted to just shrink the bottom, what do I need to do? Well, if you said just click it and drag it, you're wrong. It's going to make the whole thing smaller. If you said hold Shift and grab it, it will then only make the top smaller. All right, that's what Photoshop did. Why? Because they realized from graphic artists, probably from input, that when you hold Control T and you want to make an image smaller, generally you want to constrain the proportions and keep it in check with symmetry. As opposed to the other way it used to be, holding Shift. This is the way it naturally used to be. So they changed it, and now it's the other way around. You got to hold Shift to not keep it in proportion, and by not holding Shift, it's already in proportion when you resize. All right? And that's the difference with this. So that's the only thing. That's really been a big change. Sure, we'll do the rest of the Warhol. I know you want to see how it's going to come out. Well, the way that I do it, oopsie. I drag it down. Obviously, why is it doing that? Sorry about that, guys. It's this one. Duplicate this one. And this one comes down. There you go. So now you can just change these. The top one I'll change myself. If you guys, this isn't what the assignment entails, but I love doing the Andy Warhol, so I'll just do it anyway. I'll change this one to like something like that, and maybe a yellow or greenish. That's pretty cool. I'll hit Control B, just so you guys are able to manipulate the images a little bit too. There you go. So I've done this one. Now I want to show you a shortcut. Watch this. If I take this one away and I delete it, and then I go to the top one up here, and I duplicate this one that's done already, and I drag it down, check this out. If I hit Control U, all I got to do is just change one thing. See, so now that's a green one. Oh, you want it red? Control U. We'll move it and make it a red one. There you go. Alright, now this one will make green. No problem. We'll take the top right one here. Control U. I'm going to go to green. Sorry, excuse me. We'll duplicate this guy. We'll drag him over. We'll get rid of this one. We'll take this one, move it over. Hit Control T, and we'll hold Shift and flip them. Love it. Move them over. Nope, see. There you go. Control U. All you have to do is change it, and now he'll be green. And the last one, no problem. The bottom right, we'll duplicate the top one. Duplicate it, drag him down. He's below that layer there, no problem. We'll take this one. No, this one. No. Here, this one. Delete this one. So in this layer, Control U, yellow. Let's get a good yellow. That's fine. And now you have a little Andy Warhol looking image, but you were able to size them. That was the most important thing. I'm just going to move this up a little bit. Down. This one's just annoying. Things got to be symmetrical. There you go, baby. Alright, so that's a quick Andy Warhol project. Took no time at all, but the main thing was the sizing. Control T. Holding Shift does not constrain proportions. Holding Shift, not holding Shift, keeps the image in check. And here's when it's relevant. When you have a grid with lines that you have to make a rule, or you want something to fit in fixed dimensions. That's it. Thank you.